You're tuned to Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show, live from our Kingdom Financial Group studio. Also live on YouTube and Facebook, having the crucial conversations that Erie needs. And we have some unfinished business here because we've got to talk about the rest of the Chautauqua institution schedule for 2026 and maybe even look into 2027. And here in studio is Jill McCormick. She's the Director of Communications for CHQ. Jill, welcome back. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you so much for having me. And I know we've said it before, but next year I need to come before the season starts.
Right, yes.
So we can tick off all the things you want to see and I'll know in advance and we can make sure it happens.
Well, yeah, well, it brings up a great question. When like you were saying, the themes are already formed for next year. When do you start making schedules, I guess?
They're making schedules right now.
Are they really?
We have an amazing team in programming. Jordan Steves is he was actually the Director of Communications before me. And then during season, he would step out of that role and then work on the lecture series. So wisely, they had no communications director when they needed one the most.
Wow.
So Jordan was doing all of these jobs.
Did he take that role on during COVID? Because I remember that conversation.
Yeah, so it's kind of a transition.
Yeah.
So now he does it full time, and his team, they already have themes for next year. They also have one speaker confirmed per theme, which is something we haven't done. It's always been their goal. We'd like to have those 27 themes at least announced during week 1. This year they had them done earlier. So I think it gives them at least a sense of like people, have an idea of the week they want to come next year because people already book their accommodations that far in advance or pick their week.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question of, are these patrons, are they literally on a calendar that I always come on week 5 or that kind of thing?
It depends. You'll have some who just swear by weeks 1 through 3. You'll have some who split it up. They'll do 2, 4, and 6.
Wow.
You have people who stay the whole summer. A lot of people spend the whole 9 weeks at Chautauqua.
Can you imagine?
No, very jealous of those people. Yes. I'm jealous. I mean, I do get to spend the 9 weeks there, but in a little different capacity. I'd rather be on a porch overlooking the lake.
That is amazing. What would you say is the driver of the theme? Is it a morning speaker that usually is the driver, or is it an evening event? Or
it's our lecture series, the 1045. That's kind of the driver.
That is the one.
I mean, that's I don't want to call it a moneymaker, but it's the big one that usually gets people in. Our 2 p.m. though. Series in the Hall of Philosophy. That's another one. That's our interfaith series. That's another big draw. And we have our Department of Religion. We have a new director of religion this year. And he is amazing. He came in January and booked the entire season in a month.
Wow.
Which is unheard of. And
must be
everybody
very
loves
well
him.
connected.
He's wonderful. He's very well connected. And so we can't wait to see what he does when he has more time. But, things like, they're already discussing the plays they're going to work on. And, we're still in the midst. Our Chautauqua Theater Company just debuted their first production this week, which is called Best for Baby. And it is about the Johnson & Johnson baby powder issues and trials and tribulations.
It's kind of a comedy tragedy?
Comedy tragedy, exactly. I cannot wait to see it.
Yes.
So, it's a process that never stops. So they are, aggressively... Jordan's very busy now because he still has to man the 1045 lectures and make sure that everybody gets to where they're going. But they already have their eyes on next year.
It is astounding to me that as fast and crazy as the rest of culture goes, Chautauqua is able to stay relevant yet be true to its values that are, a century plus old.
152 this year. We celebrate our birthday
years.
on Old First Night.
How do you explain that?
Well, I think it's a place that has had to make transitions as time because it wouldn't still be here if they hadn't, kind of adjusted with the times. But it's also a place that's more important now than ever because we're having difficult conversations. It's not about debate. We're not about reactions on stage. It's about conversations and convening. So you do have people, both sides getting together and having these important conversations, but not arguing or fighting. They're actually listening. And in a lot of cases, coming up with solutions or, understanding other people's views that you don't see a lot these days.
Are you surprised at all about the love for Chautauqua in light of 2022. That was a traumatic experience for the institution to go through with Salman Rushdie and so on.
I was not there when that happened, but from what I understand from people who were, it almost brought the community closer together.
That makes sense
because
to me.
it was something so unexpected to happen at a place that people do love, and so against what Chautauqua was all about.
Yes.
So there are, people obviously went through it, had a much more difficult time than others, but it is an event that brought us more together, and it made us aware of some things that needed to be fixed. And so, security's a little tighter. There's a lot of things people don't know that are going on to make sure that our patrons are safe and feel safe.
That's a great place to start, is saying you could have a safe and fun and informative moment.
And that's part of
Chautauqua.
the allure. Like you said with the children. Children ride their bikes freely.
Yes.
I mean, you'll see them coming from the Boys and Girls Club, riding their bikes home. And without adult supervision, kids can live a life like we used to live. And it's really remarkable to see. And everyone knows each other, and you're looking out for each other. And it's a great place.
Absolutely. All right. We are in week 4, which is kind of like the Hinge week, right?
Yep.
It's called Wasted, Our Era of Disposability. And what's the big conversation? Did that happen already this morning, or is that coming up here?
We'd like to think every big conversation is happening every morning at 10:45. This is an important week. Chautauqua, obviously, we have the Chautauqua Climate Change Initiative headed by Mark Winsler, and they're very committed to, less use of water bottles. We have, the water stations all over. We have this beautiful osprey sculpture down by the Athenaeum Hotel that was made out of all materials found along the ocean in Seattle. They had it shipped here and built. It's gorgeous. This big, beautiful osprey. We're very committed. I mean, that's more of a superficial thing, but we're very committed to helping, and especially the lake is a big issue in Chautauqua County. We are part of that coalition because the lake obviously is an important part of Chautauqua. And
have they been struggling with
like
the algae
most
blooms
lakes,
and stuff?
We've had so far, knock on wood, a pretty good summer so far. But it is Chautauqua Lake needs help, and it's something we took over a few years ago. We're not in charge of it, but we are part of that conversation.
Yeah.
Because it's an important component of one of our 4 pillars with the recreation. That's why they started Chautauqua there, 152 years ago.
I'll be happy when they fix finally the bridge. The bridge to Jamestown.
No comment.
That is the project that never ends.
It looks like nothing has happened there, but I've been assured that they are working on it.
The opera is singing tomorrow night. Looks like the Music Shop, A.E. Reverie, and Ida by Lamplight. Again, whether it's the opera or the symphony, those are really must-go-to events.
They really are. Coming up, I want to say it's August 2nd. Like I said, you unfurl this calendar. It's hard to have it committed to memory. On August 2nd, which Sundays, always free at Chautauqua.
Okay.
Kids 12 and under, always free. So you have to keep that in mind. But on Sundays, that particular Sunday, Natalie Merchant is performing with the Chautauqua Symphony Orchestra at 3 p.m. free. We ask that you register for a ticket at chq.org. You'll get in with your free pass that day, and it's called Cabinets of Wonder. So it's basically a children's focus on nursery rhymes and whatnot that she recorded, I believe, with the Chicago Symphony Orchestra, but she'll be performing with our orchestra for free, and she wanted it on a Sunday so everyone could come and enjoy it.
Good for her. That's tremendous.
Of course, a Jamestown native.
Right,
for people who don't realize.
10,000 Maniacs, right? She's also going to be as part of a lecture series next week, too.
Right, and that's the artists. You have the list. Let me check my notes.
Art, resilience, and the soulful...
and artists against the odds.
Art and artists against the odds.
So, she'll be there, but the one I'm looking forward to as well is that Monday is the crossover panel, which we have Kwame Alexander, who wrote the TV show and the books, The Crossovers. He won an Emmy for the show. It was on Disney Plus. And joining him will be Christopher Jackson, who was the original George Washington in Hamilton.
Oh, yes.
And he was with us last summer, and it was one of my favorite lectures. He was on stage with Kwame, and they had a conversation, and he would go to the piano and play these spirituals. And it was just such an amazing moment, and the amp, I've never heard anything quite like it. So he is the playwright, or the composer, I believe, for the crossovers. And Jade King Carroll, who's our artistic director for Chautauqua Symphony or Chautauqua Theater Company, will also be on stage. And they are collaboratively putting together the musical version of the crossovers at Chautauqua. So this is a discussion about how that musical adaptation is taking shape.
Are they performing that at some point, or
they will eventually?
Okay, gotcha. They're working on it.
Don't know the timeline. I want to say it could be as early as 27, but or 28, but I'm not sure on that. So,
well, okay, wait a second here. Am I right? Is Amy Grant coming?
Yes, she is.
When did that? When did that come up?
Well, so we have two versions of this calendar. You get the first edition, and this is the second edition. So yeah, we do have Amy Grant coming. She is coming that same week, that Friday evening, and we're excited to have her as well.
Oh, so that's a week from Friday.
Yep.
That push me over with a.
It's funny you look ahead because I'm still thinking this week, and I'm
I get it. Well, this week is big Alison Krauss concert.
Right. You have to compartmentalize a lot of this, so week by week.
But Amy Grant, just only been following her since I was 17 years old.
Well, there you go. That'll be a reason to get you to Chautauqua this summer.
Yeah, my word, that's huge. Let's finish this week. I've got my listeners all perklempt here because I'm perklempt. More of this. Again, if this is something that concerns you, and it should concern everybody. Mm-hmm. This whole idea of a wasted. We basically have built our economy of basically throwing things away.
And we have the one day where they're talking about disposable fashion. I think that's Aja Barber tomorrow, trying to encourage people to thrift rather than buy new clothes because we throw out so many items of clothing a year. So to think in those terms. And then, on Friday, we have Rainn Wilson. Who is joining us. Of course, everyone knows him from The Office, but he is also a co-founder of the group called Climate Base Camp and works with communities to work on how disposability affects them and what they can do.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. I'm going to take my break. We're talking to Jill McCormick from Chautauqua. You are tuned to Talk Erie. Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show. Jill McCormick from CHQ, Chautauqua Institution, and it's chq.org. We've got to make sure we get that right.
Right.
That's where you want to get your tickets. And again, don't get tickets anywhere else than chq.org. You don't want to...
Right. There's a place to click, and you get to the ticket center, and you'll be good to go.
All right. Let's go to week 5 here. Art and artists against the odds. What's the vibe with that one?
So the idea, too, I mean, Chautauqua, obviously, art's so important there. We just opened a brand new theater this past June. It's called the Row Green Theater Center. Row Green is a longtime Chautauquan. I want to say there are 6 or 7 theaters across the country that she has supported and built. So we are thrilled that she chose us to be another one of those locations. It is a entirely brand new building.
Wow.
And so the idea with the Art Week, focusing on the artists against the odds, is talking about some of the difficulties. You know, we built a new theater when a lot of theaters are closing, and you know, the funding and everything. So we are thrilled that we can still allow artists to come to Chautauqua, work out their plays, work out their music. You know, when you first drive in and you see all those practice sheds.
Sure, yeah.
Just the idea that these kids are in there working with just some of the masters of the world of music. You know, Rosen Melanoff it's just such an amazing group of people we have, that these kids and adults who are with the Chautauqua Theater Company, the idea that they can work in a trade and in an art that they love is something we're very proud of.
Some of the folks that are speaking, you mentioned the crossover panel. Also, Natalie Merchant having her conversation there on Friday the 31st. Dave Eggers is speaking. That's a familiar name.
Yeah, so we're excited to have him coming. I mean, when you look at our authors, you know, we have the longest running book club, we say, in the United States, too. So some of the authors who come are just so impressive, and we are so lucky that they come. And it's funny, too, when you talk about booking people.
Yeah.
If they haven't been there before, it's a little tougher sell. But once they come, they usually come back again. It's an easier sell. We had Nora O'Donnell and Deborah Roberts week 1, and neither had been to Chautauqua, but they both knew people who had. When their friends found out they were coming to Chautauqua, they said, "Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous. You know, you should do this."
Yeah.
So it's a lot of word of mouth too.
For sure. Can you talk about some of the things recently that has been done to the amp? Because I feel like the amp's experience is much upgraded.
This is exciting. So we have a brand new audio system this year. Okay. There have been issues over the years. It's a hard place to outfit with sound because it is open, you know, and it's an older base structure. So it's a little different. It wasn't built for, you know, modern day acoustics so much. So we've decided to put the investment into the amp and the new audio system. Turns out the guy who did the audio for the Sphere, Madison Square Garden, and Radio City Music Hall, if you've heard of those, has a place over in Bemis Point. And
that's unreal.
We were able to have him kind of consult and help our crew, and they put in this new audio system, and it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, the Sphere is, you know,
Sphere's a whole nother. We could do an hour on the Sphere if you've been. I understand. I've been a couple of times.
Have you really?
Yes.
Yeah. I guess every single seat has its own sound system.
It is. I saw 3 shows.
That's fantastic.
But they did. The other thing, too, at the AMP that we tried as a pilot program last September with Bonnie Raitt, and now is happening at most of our popular entertainment programs like the Alison Krauss and Amy Grant, beverage sales.
Okay.
So it's something, as you can imagine, Chautauqua was dry not all that long ago.
Right.
Now you can have a glass of wine or a beer while you're watching a show.
Interesting.
So.
Wow. Yeah. Again, times are changing for sure. So that is week 5, and again, the big concert. You have an opera with the music school. Big presentation there. I won't even try the French, but that's on the 27th. Then on the 31st, an evening with Amy Grant, which is very appealing for many of our listeners here. Then we go to week 6. It's America 250.
This is our big week.
With the Colonial Williamsburg Foundation. That is super cool. Talk about that.
So I am told Colonial Williamsburg isn't just working with us. They are bringing Colonial Williamsburg to Chautauqua.
Yeah.
I have heard the word forge mentioned.
Oh,
Like they are
wow.
bringing some of their displays, so they'll be available for people to experience Williamsburg kind of on the road. But I mean, the highlight of the week and what people have been talking about for quite some time, Ken Burns. 2 days in a row at 10:45. So
And he's been there a few days.
he has been there before, and obviously people love Ken Burns.
I was going to say
he's a perfect
that seems
fit.
the perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
It's almost like you see Chautauqua, you see his face next to like
I was
he's
going
the
to say
perfect
the
fit.
DNA
Right.
mixes.
And
you
so
know.
we have 2 days to hear from him.
And Jeff Rosen is coming.
Yes, he'll
too.
be on stage with him as well.
He's from the Constitutional
National
Center.
Constitution Center. So they are going to be talking about, the American story. So what better way to celebrate America 250 than a conversation with Ken Burns?
Wow.
So, and I think the one on Monday is about sold out.
Is
if
it?
it hasn't already. I know I keep checking. And day 2 is getting closer. So if you have any interest at all,
Right.
hop on chq.org and get those tickets.
The the way that he tells the stories, it's frank yet deferential. Like we understand that our founding fathers were flawed people, yet the outcomes that they came up with, that this system has worked for 250 years. It's really, really, really remarkable.
I like too how he puts people. We've always revered a lot of these people,
Yeah.
and to see that they were just people.
Yes.
And that they were able to accomplish such great things, to me, in his storytelling is always impressive too.
My deal is not even so much. I really appreciated the American Revolution series from last fall, but I watch baseball about once a year.
Yeah.
Like I'm totally addicted to those stories and that was one of his very first.
I can't wait to hear about his
series.
process.
Yes,
to
yeah.
put, you know how hard it is to put like a 2.5 minute story together. Like, how does one even tackle a 10-part series?
The as far as music, you have that Dolly Parton's Threads, Songs in Symphony. So it's her songs.
It's not Dolly.
That the symphony is going to be undertaking.
Yes.
Are they bringing on some special singers and so on?
They are, and then it's also, it's her show. This is
Okay.
her vision. It's not that we just are using her name. So it is her program. It's a multimedia symphonic experience, and it's her music and storytelling. I'm not quite sure. It's going to be the live orchestra and some
Yeah.
on-screen narration. So it'll kind of be like last summer when we had Morgan Freeman and the symphony played with the Ground Zero Blues guys, and there was some narration about the history of the blues.
Neat.
So I'm imagining it's along those lines, which that was a magical night in the end.
And that's August 1st.
Yes.
I got to ask you about this one. On August 4th, the Puppy Pals Live,
Yes.
the comedic stunt dog show. This is a little stretch for CHQ, a little bit.
Well, so it's our old first night, which is a big night. It's our birthday party at
Okay,
Chautauqua.
okay.
And they always try to have a family-focused
Nice.
event that
Yeah.
evening, because the night has a lot of traditions too, but it's also a night for family. So they'll have sometimes cake. I think we've switched to cupcakes because of the
Okay.
number, and I think post-COVID, cupcakes
right.
are a little easier to celebrate Chautauqua's birthday. So that is happening. I don't know how dogs are comedic. I'm looking forward to that, but a lot of the young people are excited about the Puppy Pals, and old.
I'm sure, yeah. And they say if you want to have a standout commercial, you put dogs or babies in
Right?
there. So, I'm sure that's going to be the case. I got to check my time here. Oh, yeah, I'm way over.
Oh, no.
We'll be back after this. We are going over all of the things at Chautauqua through the end of the season here, just 45 minutes away, out Route 86. And Jill McCormick is with us. She's a communications director for Chautauqua, chq.org. And Jill, we left off with week 6 and really this amazing America at 250 conversations, as well as some really neat performances here. Let's go to week 7 because we got 3 more to do here. We only have 20 minutes. All right. Week 7 is global power and our evolving international order. So when you think about that, this theme was probably created a year ago, and how relevant it is at this moment.
There is some magical way that our programming department seems to have a pulse on the year ahead. I wonder if they time travel sometimes when,
really?
When they talk about some of these, earlier this year we had the 26th election, what's at stake. It's probably going to be a contentious year with that one. But when we have things when we're talking about AI before everyone else is talking about AI, and in this case as well, what's going on in the world, it's quite remarkable that we're so on the point with some of these themes.
You have Nancy Youssef, who's a staff writer for The Atlantic, coming that Tuesday, August 10th. What is Chautauqua a draw for media? It seems like you have a lot of media folks that come by.
I think it's one of those things like we talked about earlier. It's about building those relationships and who knows who. And if you can get to someone who's been here before and they know someone, it's a lot of word of mouth. So, and it seems like we have a lot of writers from the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times. We have Nancy Gibb, who used to be the editor of Time Magazine, who's a Chautauquan.
Is she really?
She is, and she's lovely. She worked at the Daily back in the day, and you see her walking around, and she knows a lot of these people. And so when you have connections like that, I think it helps when they get people to come. And again, once someone comes once, chances are they're going to come again or let their friends know.
It's interesting to me, that where media is at, especially national media, these people, these writers, these people that are maybe talking heads on cable news or whatever, they have followings. And so when you talk about somebody like an Atlantic writer or some of the many folks that you've had there, people know who they are, and they want to hear them kind of speak in that kind of long form freewheeling conversation, which is not that soundbite that you get on
It's not. And
CNN.
Every once in a while you'll get someone who you're like, okay, maybe we've heard that speech. But that is, maybe a 0.5% of the time. The people who come really speak from their heart and their soul about the topic, because obviously with the week focused on this, they are passionate about it. It is what they do and what they write about, and they want to get the information out, but in a very Chautauquan way. Have you been to 1045s before?
Yeah, sure.
There's pencil and paper handed out, so you can write your questions down. And there's a very involved Q&A at the end of these talks. And that's when I think a lot of the magic happens, because it really does allow for that conversation and those questions. Also the big concerts in week 7. That's the Josh Groban on the 13th and the Revivalists on the 14th. You're saying Josh is almost sold out. He's getting there. He's going to perform with the Chautauqua Symphony Orchestra. I mean, goosebumps just thinking about it. Wow. I mean, it's something to hear. We had earlier this year, Sutton Foster and Kelly O'Hara perform with the symphony. It's an amazing thing to see.
Yeah. Stage, screen, and symphony. I like what the repertoire might
and I've heard he has pretty good pipes, so I think it'll probably be a pretty
You've
good
heard that, haven't you? Wow. Gosh.
It's been said.
Well, it's been said. I want to look up Miles Yu because, again, the China Center at the Hudson Institute. So maybe unpacking kind of, the dilemma that China is, for many Americans.
Light topics.
Yeah. These
We're not
are
afraid
pretty
to
heavy.
touch on. They are heavy, but again, that's the beauty of Chautauqua. You can go and have a heavy lecture at 10:45, have a really heartfelt discussion, meaningful discussion, and then you could go to a play later in the day or go see a performance of somewhere. We have a movie theater on the grounds. Oh, wow. I mean, any day is what you make of it. And I know I've said this before, but 4 people could could walk in the gate at the same time, and all 4 could have a different day if they separated and regrouped for dinner.
Talk about what that looks like. Where do I get lunch? What's that look like? Should I go to the Athenaeum? Should I go to one of the restaurants or cafes or whatever?
The food at Chautauqua has been a debate for a while. Like, people will say there isn't enough food. There isn't, it's not good. Our hotel has turned things around. They have the Heirloom Restaurant, which is fantastic, lunch or dinner. And they are also in charge of the Brickwalk Cafe, which is more of a grab and go, or, your chicken tenders and hamburgers. Food there is delicious now as well. There's an ice cream stand inside. We have 3 Taps, which is a kind of a brew pub on the water down by the bell tower. There's a food truck there, but they also have beverages for sale inside, so you can sit by the water and have a cold beer or drink.
Yeah.
We have some privately owned restaurants on the grounds. There's all kinds of options. And if you got a ticket for Amy Grant, and you just bought that single ticket, you take the short drive from Erie, 45 minutes, depending on where you live. That gets you on the grounds at 4 o'clock that day. So you could come at 4 o'clock. You could have dinner. I would suggest making a reservation if you want to go to the hotel.
Right.
We have the afterwards wine bar, which is also run by our hotel staff. So there's lots of options on the grounds if you'd like to come and explore.
That's good to know. Again, making it an experience, right? All right. Let's get to week number 8. I think we're up to, and
wait till you hear
the future of food. Okay, well, what a transition! Again, you're a pro, and we're talking about the future of food, climate, technology, and the next agricultural revolution.
It's a great topic. And it's kind of set off. We brought back the food festival, and we used to do a food festival that was just 1 week long, but we're doing 2 weeks, and it starts that week. It's week 8 and 9, and we have Naisha Arrington, who is a chef who I believe she was on Top Chef, but she's also a judge on Next Level Chef.
Oh, wow.
Which airs on Fox. So she will be there speaking and giving a master class. And I believe there's also a dinner that she is creating for a select few that's already sold out. So that whole week and the week 9, there will be food trucks. There will be demonstrations. There will be everything you can imagine about food. And then in week 9, we have Chef Darian Bryan, who was on Next Level Chef this year and won. He's from Buffalo. He cooks for a guy named Josh Allen and some of his teammates. And so he's revered and lovely. We met him not long ago. And so he'll also be doing a master class. So it's going to be just everything you love about food for 2 solid weeks.
Oh, my goodness. I'm interested in this conversation on Wednesday, August 19th by Brian Frank, the founder and general partner of FTW Ventures, bringing decades of experience in building transformative technology that impacts the way people work, play, and live. And he turned his attention to technology improving the lives of every person on the planet by building a better food system. These are big topics,
right?
I mean, this guy is like he's shooting for the fences here. Incredible, talking about food and ag technology,
right? Which is something right now with things going on in the lettuce world.
Yes,
it's interesting. Again, ahead of our time. Like who would have known that?
Ahead of our time. Nice pun.
Right. I didn't even catch that I made a pun. But yeah, so it's an important discussion now more than ever as we're worried about our lettuce consumption.
Yeah.
Now.
We haven't been able to get through a conversation since I've been back from Chris without talking about explosive diarrhea.
Yes.
But, so
isn't it nice?
That we could ring the bell on that one, Shani.
We are lifting the shame of explosive
diarrhea. Jeez. Talk about you have weekly chaplains. Talk about some of the religious and the faith-based things that go on in Chautauqua.
Well, religion is one of our 4 pillars.
Yeah.
It was what Chautauqua was based off of back in the day. It started as a Bible school,
sure.
And just grew. It is a big component, but we tell people you could be religious or you could be non-religious and still experience a lot at Chautauqua. And it goes back to where you kind of build your own day. There are people who come and stay in denominational houses, and the focus of their entire day would be religion. We have, I think, every religion represented on the grounds in some form or capacity, whether it be a house, an organization, or a facility. So we're very proud of that fact. But again, we also want people to know you don't have to be religious.
But
to come as well.
but if you're affiliated with a denomination or
Right.
whatever it is, are there easy ways to get data of like, I want to go to a Bible study or want to go to this event that you're happening on grounds?
And I had intended to bring for you. It's the daily sheet.
Okay.
And it is another full out. We'll say it's a couple of sheets,
really?
and it lists everything going on.
Okay.
It makes this look like
this is cursory.
small potatoes. This
Yeah.
is just it's very. This is like maybe an eighth of what's happening each day.
Wow.
And so you get that sheet, and that's really people their Bible, and you can see everything going on each day. I mean, we have special studies classes. We have events that other people host. We had a Chautauqua Travels event Monday night where we talked about our travel program and had wine and cheese. So there's always something happening. And I don't think it's possible to go to everything that's happening in one day.
One of our conversations in the past several years, we talked about Chautauqua in D.C. Is that still a project that is going on?
No,
Do you know
so
of?
we had
Okay.
offices there, and those have since closed.
Okay.
So now the staff's all, we have a new president coming in September.
Wow.
And so our interim CEO is Kyle Keogh. He will be stepping down at that point, and Mark will be coming on, and we're all very excited to see. He's a Jamestown native.
Really?
Whose father worked at Chautauqua for 20 some years. He's his last job, I think he's left since, but he was the second in command at the U.S. Embassy in Mexico. So he has familiarity with Chautauqua, and he has an amazing background, and we're very excited for him to join us.
And you've said that that Erie is a primary market
It is.
for visitors to Chautauqua, along with Buffalo, Cleveland too.
Cleveland, kind of, it's primarily Buffalo and then Erie, especially for
How about New
single
York
ticket.
City? Folks come over?
We have a large number of Chautauquans who are from New York City who have homes and come, and they'll spend most of the summer. So
Wow.
we do have a large number from New York City.
All right. Let's get to the last, okay, where am I at here? I'm in 8, so we got one more week, and then maybe we could, just give a little preview about next year. Kenny G coming on week 9 with the theme here, the importance of gathering, a collaboration with the Smithsonian Folklife Festival.
Have you heard of them before?
The Smithsonian, yeah.
Say it's the
yeah.
Smithsonian, Williamsburg.
Again,
Brookings,
but
the
not
Ameriprise
with, not
Institute,
without a little controversy with the Smithsonian these days.
It
right?
is, and that's the thing. It's all the partnerships. Williamsburg too. Their leader stepped down, so
Is
it's like
that
there's
right?
been all kinds of things that happened a few months ago, but it doesn't impact the work though. So
No,
we're very
right.
happy
Yeah.
to.
Well,
have
the
this partnership.
president's been put a little pressure on the Smithsonian. we'll leave that.
That's another discussion.
But Kenny G on August 27th, still sounding amazing, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Well, it's
Go ahead. What
I was going to say he's not singing, so hopefully.
Right. Yeah, he's not making.
He doesn't have to worry about the pipes.
Exactly here. The art of a gathering. This is Priya Parker. The art of a gathering. How we meet and why it matters. It's interesting. Anybody that's and again, you're in the business of having these large events. Hopefully, we have kind of shaken off the skittishness that came with COVID. But you talk to folks that volunteer at churches have seen declined attendance. Certainly musical theater, the theaters, they've been trying to rebuild those
theaters,
audiences. The movie theaters are still rough. Gathering, though, I feel like collective experience is still key to our core.
It's so important. And luckily for us, I don't think we're quite at the pre-pandemic numbers, but we're getting there.
Okay.
And I think, again, talking about how important it is to gather and how important it is for people to have that human connection, which is something I think we sometimes take for granted at Chautauqua when we're there during the season, because that's what we do.
Right.
So I think it'll be nice to actually have a focus on it and to bring more people together to have that discussion and maybe find out how they can take that home, which is another thing that we hope. We say we like to vacation with purpose. And so take that and what you learn and take it back to your communities and maybe help spread the wealth a bit.
So if this is like, I'm an Erie listener. I just have never been. Really, trying it out on a Sunday is your best
way
bet.
to start. It really is.
That's what I did as a 22-year-old, and I was working at WDOE Dunkirk, Fredonia, New York, and I took a drive down.
I do a radio spot with them every
Do
Friday.
you,
That's so fun.
on DOE?
Yes.
Oh, that's so awesome. I wonder if Dan Palmer's still around.
I think so.
He was the morning man.
Okay. So
in the 80s, you know.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
They so yeah, it's you can come. The best way to check us out is on a Sunday. Don't be afraid. I know I talk to people who say, "Well, I haven't been there in 20 years. I went when I was a kid." Like, you really need to come back. It is for everyone, and you really can't think. It can be overwhelming when you look at some of these names or lists,
Right.
but it's really a welcoming place, and people should feel free to come and check us out. And if you don't want to, pay for the gate pass
Sure.
that first time back, a Sunday is the perfect way to try.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's a lot of good programming on Sundays.
And I think it can't be overstated that, you know what? It's 9 weeks. We get about 9 weeks in northwestern Pennsylvania, southwestern New York, right? That's all we get. And so don't let the moment pass you by because you're busy or you got to work. Take the day off.
Well, and I said that 40,
dive in.
That 45-minute drive.
Yeah.
I mean, my commute was longer when I lived in Atlanta.
Oh,
It's like, it's such a quick, easy drive, no traffic. And you have this world-class facility with so much to offer. And I just think if people go and see it once, there's a lot of other things to do in the area too. I mean, there's a lot happening in Chautauqua County.
All right, let's talk a little bit. Did you have your
I have
20,
to put my glasses
27?
on for this one.
All right,
it's a little small.
And before you do that, chat a little bit about what else happens in the off season.
So we have this year, we had Wilco before the season started, and then we have the Indigo Girls coming in September. So we have a couple of shoulder season shows.
Gotcha.
Something we're trying out to see how that goes. Our hotel operates until the end of October. It's not winterized.
Okay.
So it's an old hotel, and she's a beauty, and we're working on revitalization of the Athenaeum as well. But there's still people who live at Chautauqua year round. We have a post office. We have a library. So anyone can come when the gates go back up outside of the 9 weeks. And there's a bookstore that's open year round. There are things to do. You can come and walk along the lake. There are things that you can experience. It's just a little quieter.
Yeah, imagine. Okay, 2027.
Okay, so we talked about week 2 is the applied ethics in the age of AI.
Wow.
We have United We Swing, a week in partnership with Wynton Marsalis and the Jazz at Lincoln Center Orchestra.
Yeah, he's like all in on Chautauqua.
Did you ever watch the documentary?
I saw the documentary.
Yeah, so we're thrilled to have him back. And then we have a week in partnership with National Geographic, Exploration and Confluence. And then we have Celebrating Excellence, a week with the Pulitzer Prizes. Fantastic. So that will be celebrating a century of the Pulitzer prizes. And then the one I'm looking forward to, we have a week with Dr. Sanjay Gupta. That's week 8 on Living Well. And then week 9, Turning Roots into Rock, a week in partnership with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I love it.
I know. I'm so excited for that. I can't wait to see the programming that they come up with.
This ancient 150 plus year institution keeping up with the times and really prompting the conversations of our moment.
Right.
I mean, it's happening all the time.
And these conversations have never been more important. Where we are now, no matter where you stand politically, these conversations are vital.
Yeah. All right, chq.org. That's where you get your tickets.
That's right.
Jill McCormick, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
You got it. It is 7 in front of 5.